Hey everybody, it's that time again, and as promised, now we're going to start doing the Operation Vittles Cookbook, and we're going to look at the recipes. There really is like one that's classified as a holiday one, but I'm taking all the other ones and going to see, hey, these would work great during the holidays. So our first one is coming from Myrtle Mueller and wife there in Berlin during the Berlin airlift. And so let's get started. Let's get this episode rocking and rolling. All right, that's right. So here we are. So what are we making? We're making oatmeal crisps. Oatmeal crisp. And what are we going to need? Well, we're going to need some shortening. Shortening. I said shortening, not butter. Shortening. Brown sugar, granulated sugar, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1.5 cups of flour, some salt, some soda, baking soda, some quick cooking oatmeal, and walnuts, some chopped walnuts. Quick cooking oatmeal. We basically have deduced that that's going to be your instant oatmeal, the one you just pour the hot water over and let it. That's what we're looking at. So real simple. A lot of the content, the ingredients you probably already have there at home. So let's get this started. Let's make some oatmeal crisps. Alrighty. So we've got 1 cup of shortening. That's right, shortening. 1 cup of brown sugar. 1 cup of granulated sugar. We're going to cream it. So make sure we use the paddle attachment here with the little side scoop thing. And let's get to a town. Well, first of all, I got to move this. Now let's go to town. Again, it's going to be kind of like what we did with the batter for the shortbread cookie. Make sure it all gets mixed in. Now, as you see there, it is caught in between the paddle, so the paddle and the rod in the center. So we're definitely going to have to knock this out again to speed up the process. So pulling out a silicone spatula, if I can find one here. And we're back. Let's knock this out. And because it's shortening, you see it is fairly easy to work with. Now, I did not let this set to room temperature, which I should have, but I also wanted it to still be sticky enough for it to continue to work. So there we go. We knocked it off the blade. Let's go, or knocked it off the paddle. All right, just a couple of seconds later now, and you see that for the most part, I mean, it still hasn't completely combined, but it is off the side of the wall here of the bowl, of the mixing bowl. So we'll let it run just a little bit longer, and we should have it all nice and thoroughly mixed. And there it is. All right, now let's move on to the next set of ingredients. All right, next up is 2 eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla. So we'll add that in here. 2 beaten eggs. Just quickly give them a quick little beating. They're going to get beat up in here. So let's get that going in here. Get all the mix up. There it is, a little creamier now. We'll knock some of this other stuff off. Stuff that was on the blade. Make sure it gets what it needs to get. And we'll run it for just a little bit longer. Very sticky. All right, let's move on. All right, now we have 1.5 cup of flour, and we have 1 teaspoon each of baking soda and salt. So let's give that a mixy mix. All right, so now we got it mixed. Now we're going to add the oats and the walnuts. And in here are the 3 cups of quick oats, and now we're going to do 1/2 cup of walnuts and mix it all up. Look at that. Look at how it, let's bring it in closer. Look at that. Look at how it formed up. So now we're ready to take this out. We're going to roll it out in on wax paper. We're going to set it in the fridge for about an hour, let it thoroughly chill. But let's show you the wax paper part of this. All right, we're back here at the prep table. There it is. There is that dough. There's that oatmeal crisp dough. And you see the oatmeal in there, and it forms really easy. What we're going to do is create a couple of rolls. And Mrs. This Vet Cooks and I were talking about how wide or how thick the roll should be. And we're kind of looking at what you see in grocery stores when you have that pre-made dough. You know, the big roll of cookie dough. And don't forget to use the wax paper to your advantage. And so we're thinking maybe about an inch, inch and a half in diameter. A nice little dough log here. I think that should do it. Because again, we're going to cut them up. We're going to slice them. We're just going to go in here and just slice them up when they've cooled down. And then we're going to bake them at 350 degrees for about, the recipe says 10 minutes. So Myrtle, Mueller, hope you're doing well. And again, this is also coming out of the Operation Vittles Cookbook. There that is. Look at that. Now, obviously, they didn't have the KitchenAid back in the day, but it does help. It certainly does help. Now, I can obviously tell you that some things have not changed since back in the day. Look at that. Look how it tears off. But hey, what can we do, right? All right, this is going to be a little bit of a longer one. So I kind of misidentified or miscalculated. Because again, never was a mortarman. We use the wax paper to help us out, shape the form. And we're going to get to about an inch and a half. All the way through. It doesn't have to be consistent, but it doesn't hurt. And folks, again, it's the holidays. Get your family, get your friends, come on over, help out. It's a lot of fun, hands-on work. And you know, whenever you can make something hands-on, it's definitely a good thing. I love. Look at that. Be careful here in the back end. So obviously once it chills, once they chill, hey, almost just off by about an inch. Once they chill, then it'll be good to go. It'll be a little tighter, and we'll cut them up 10 minutes, and let's see what happens. So we'll see on the back end after an hour of chilling. So as I mentioned, this is coming from the Operation Vittles Cookbook, and again, taking into consideration when it was 1948, 1949 during the Berlin airlift, the Soviet blockade of Berlin, and supplies were being flown in. There was no railways, there was no roads, there was no canals open to bring it in from the west to Berlin, 110 miles behind the Soviets, or inside the Soviet zone of occupation at that time. Now, with that being said, the staples here that we're talking about, flour, oatmeal, stuff that was readily available, easy to get to. At that time, even then, it was still easy to get to, and really nothing outside of the ordinary. Even the walnuts, I mean, you can just go outside and get them off the tree or as they fall. And we're down to the market, the marketplace, and where they were selling the fresh produce and stuff when they were able to. So you can still get that. But it's a nice throwback. It's a real simple recipe, and right now we're waiting as it is in the icebox chilling, and again, that's what they called it back then, the icebox or the refrigerator as we know it now. It is chilling. It's just a thoroughly chill, so it's going to be about an hour. And so we're going to do that. And we're going to take them out, cut them into little rings and or little slices, and then we're going to go ahead and bake them in a cookie sheet and a 350 degree oven for 10 minutes. Now, again, we've got that time. So again, you know, I want to thank everybody that watches on the YouTube channel, everyone that watches on the Facebook channel, our Facebook page, facebook.com/thisvetcooks, our YouTube channel. The link is down below. It's in the show notes. And on our Instagram, if you're following along there, again, thank you for following. And Twitter at This Vet Cooks on Twitter, the same name in the Instagram, This Vet Cooks. So again, greatly appreciate it. On the Instagram it's a little different. It is This Vet Cooks. Sorry about that. I had to confuse there for a second. But again, want to thank everybody for liking, following, watching, comment. Don't forget to comment if you got questions on what about this or what about that or any of the recipes I made. Go ahead and let me know. Now, with that being said, I also want to take this opportunity to pass along. It is the holiday season. And as I mentioned before, tensions can run a little high sometimes. And sometimes we can put ourselves in a funk. And that's okay. We need that funk. That way we know that, hey, the other side of it, the good side of it. And we need that every once in a while. It balances us. It gets us in balance. We can't always stay up here in good spirits. We have to have some downtime. That's how we break it all down. That's how we stress, relieve the stress, and then we can get back at it again. But you know what the problem is sometimes we stay down here for a little too long. And that's when we need to call somebody. That's when we need help. And if you don't have direct access to a professional who can help, that's fine. You can always call the Veteran Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255. Again, 1-800-273-8255. Press the number 1 when the automated attendant answers, and they'll direct you to the appropriate individual. And as I've said before, the first individual that answers might not be able to help you, but share with them. Let them know what's going on. They're strangers. They don't know you. So obviously they're not going to be able to pass any kind of judgment. Share with them, and then guess what? They're going to route you to the right place, or in their case, and maybe if they can help you, they will. But again, don't hesitate to make the call. That's what it's there for. 1-800-273-8255. Press the number 1 when the automated attendant answers. So again, make the call. Okay, it's an hour later, and we've let this chill. And again, it could use a little bit more time to chill, but the recipe here, the Oatmeal Crisp by Myrtle Mueller, calls for sliced into 1/4 inch thick and bake on an ungreased cookie sheet. Well, yeah, we have enough shortening in there, definitely. But 1/4 inch, I mean, that's going to be kind of, I don't know. There they are. We'll do that. So we'll go ahead and do our first batch, and then we'll run it and see how it is. And again, so it's a little crummy, but not to worry, we will do that. So all right, let me finish cutting and I'll come right back. All right, there they are, and obviously some are thicker, some are thinner, but hey, we tried, and that's better than nothing. And again, batter tastes great. Oatmeal, brown sugar. Yeah, I know it's got raw eggs, but hey, come on. Seriously. Okay, so let's put it in. The again, Myrtle Mueller's Oatmeal Crisp calls for bake in a 350-degree oven for 10 minutes. See what it looks like at 10 minutes, but I do believe we might need to give it a little bit more time. But we'll see what it happens. All right, there they are. They're out of the oven. I had to give them a couple of extra minutes. And again, you definitely want to do it. I know the recipe calls for 10 minutes, but let it cool down also. You see it kind of puffs up, but they feel solid. They feel okay, but they have expanded. Obviously, you see them all bunched up against each other. We're gonna let them cool down, and once they've cooled down, we'll come back and we'll do the closing of the show. So again, thanks for watching. This is Oatmeal Crisp by Myrtle Mueller in the Operation Vittles Cookbook. So let's let them rest there for a while, and we'll come back and we'll give them a tasty taste. All right, everybody, here it is. The Oatmeal Crisp, Myrtle Mueller's from the Operation Vittles Cookbook. I've said it enough, but it's fantastic. It looks great. They really solidify. They cool down quick. That's the nice thing. They cool down really quick. I mean, it was just a matter of minutes in between the last take and this one. But here we go. Oh, man. That's some good stuff. That is a holiday cookie. That's an anytime cookie. And we were talking, and it looks like you could go ahead and add, instead of the walnuts, or inclusive of the walnuts, some Craisins, Raisins, because then it's raisin oatmeal, right? Yeah, raisin oatmeal. And maybe some like apple little tiny pieces of apple. Really, really diced, tiny, really small. Just enough to give that apple flavor. They might be a little too juicy. You could render them down in some cinnamon, cook them down, just get some of that moisture out of there, and then add them to this. But man, Oatmeal Crisp, Myrtle Mueller, thank you very much for your contribution to the Operation Vittles Cookbook. Folks, I'm Dave Guerra, and this Vet Cooks.